loved working on this. It's just tin and brass and copper. The little, in between the little squares is copper. Underneath the brass is also copper. No, it's not. It's not copper. It was adhesive, a type of glue that we copper colored. Do you see how it squeezes in between? And then those are furniture tacks, upholstery tacks, and then a tin ceiling. And then this was especially interesting. We painted it with all these funny colors. None of them matched or looked well together. It was actually kind of beautiful though, to me, anyway. And that it was just basically using up paint that couldn't have been used anywhere else. And it can be any kind. It can be oil or water-based paint, doesn't matter, or latex, whatever. And then you paint it with the glue, the white glue, just plain old white glue. And then it starts to get kind of cool and tacky. And then you paint it with the overcoat of paint. I believe it has to be latex paint that you paint over. And we normally don't use latex paint. So I remember that we made a point of that. And as the glue dries and the paint dries, all these wondrous designs appear. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? And it's all done by nature. So you really don't have any control over it. But look at this section right here. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. These are ceramic decals. We always had a lot of decals left because we cut the decals and used only parts of them. And we had lots of antique decals. Very, very old antique decals. Isn't that a beautiful one with iris? You see this one over here? And we didn't really have room for it. We didn't have enough of it to use or something, because I don't remember using this one. I think we might have only had one. But then we applied them and varnished over them. So it always looked, it stayed on for many, many, many years. And then we even put our decal of our of our logo there, our crest or logo. And as you can see, there used to be a bar that went across here with a curtain to keep the wind out from the shed. Okay, so now let's go out to the back shed. We'll go up to the second level in a minute. And then, when we painted this door, then we varnished the door. And varnish in different thicknesses becomes kind of amber-like. So as you can see, it kind of had a treatment to the door that fit with the attitude here. You see it? It's just fun to play with things. You know, you don't have to go exactly by all the rules. And then under here, we had this funny little space, so we found a stupid little painting that was basically worthless, and we just popped it in and framed it up. And it's been here all this time, and it's just right at home here. So let's see what's up on the next level. Come ahead. Now, this beautiful rope handle came from our experiences living in England, because in all the old houses and castles that were stone, they didn't really use wood very much, and they also they just could drill into the stone and put these holders and then just run an old rope through it, and you just hold on to the rope as you're going up in these tiny little narrow passageways. So we did the same thing here. And then it's almost the same as when we were here. If you turn around this way, you can see that originally we actually had a special kind of wallpaper that we cut out that was gathered with bows. But then we had all this beautiful fringe that we had made especially for us, for our work. And this is when Richard and I were with Victoria and Richard M. Prize. So we had this beautiful fringe. And so we attached that to end this sort of canopy effect of the ceiling. It almost looks like a circus tent. And then there's a little porch out here, if you can see. We used to be able to see the lake very easily from here, but the trees have all grown up to very high. So, see, there's a little peek at the lake. That one little place. In the winter, of course, we see more of it, but in the summer, we just walk down the side of the hill and go jump in the lake. And here, the crickets and the little frogs make noises all day long. And there's the garden where we were earlier. And this is the roof of the crescent part. So the crescent part, as I said, we built, but this whole thing, all the way down and all the way, I'll show you other parts where you can see, all the way across the back is all from another house that we moved here. It was really fun to do that. Okay, and it was going to be torn down, and here it is. We built in this little cupboard bed, and when we were here, it had curtains here, so that when you tucked into bed, it was private. And this is an old fireplace frame. This was for a small fireplace from another farmhouse. And we painted it to fit here. If you just look closely at the detail, you see how we did sort of the freckle fish look all the way throughout. And all of our little flowers, we painted all the way around. And marble, as I showed you the other day, we did on these doors. And this is called tortoiseshell. And that's another process that's really fun to do. And there's our house in the winter. Earlier on, it didn't yet have the gables on the top or the cupola. It was still basically the main house, but we had already added on these parts from another house. But it still didn't have all of its full story told. So, and here, again, you can see even better here the way the checks are painted. You can even feel the way the checks are painted. But aren't they beautiful? I think I love them better than real marble. And then these little cupboards used to be with portraits of all the animals and all the people in our family. This is such a fun little cupboard. It's called a cupboard bed. And it's what we built just to feel cozy. And if our family stayed here, our daughter and son-in-law could be there, and our two little ones could be here, or just Witika, or just Felix. And then this is the little head that we built here. This is before we started making our own tile. If you come here, I'll show you. So we just used we store-bought tile. But it's so pretty, isn't it? With all this. And then see how the insides of the doors are painted. If you come in here, you can see. I'm just showing this because this was never done. It started being done now since but just these simple little play with colors. And here it is, all these years later, still holding up beautifully in this little cupboard door. I love this little cupboard. And the little mirror is still here. That's so funny. So let's go. And then, it's great. I like all these little things that we just did. You know, to have light air and fresh air coming in. Isn't it beautiful? I'm having fun just like you are. Just appreciating all this fun. It's just like playing house. And now, I'll show you another section. Oh, here's, I showed you this lamp in the living room, but here you can see it, you know, again, in a beautiful way. I wonder if there are any other lights or anything. Nothing else that we have to show you. But Anne and Chet, you know, brought these beautiful touches. I like it when the lights are on. You know, they brought these things. We never had a lot of this wonderful comfort. You know, just layers and layers of pillows, and it was just so grand. But, you know, this is another thing that was here. See how primitive the railing? It's just so simple and primitive, and yet there's a little bit of care. For instance, see how these are tapered up to the top like little candlesticks? But it's just so simple. And what I'm most happy about and surprised about is that we had the vision to keep these elements, because it just should never be taken away, because it really shows you how simple and bare these houses were. And look at the floor. I remember fretting over this because we couldn't get this put together, all built and covered properly in time. And then the winter came, and the floors that were already kind of in, you know, in having been left abandoned for so many years, were in great shape, and they became even more amazing after the winter. I don't know if you can, if I move this, you can maybe see. Do you see? Look all the way down there. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And so we varnished it to hold everything just where it was. So all of these markings and everything were able to be saved. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. And nobody had to do any tactics to make it look old. It just shows the wear, just the way it is. Okay, so now we have another adventure. This is a creepy part. This is a closet. And all these are where you can hang your clothes. And then you step up in here and open up this little door. And then you stop and you leave all of the channel mammals in anxious suspense for the next day. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to disappear into